first by saying that I understand the role of the media not just to report news, but also to educate the public. I have invited this call to either convene a one-day meeting where all of the issues concerning roads and housing we can address. And I make myself open to any invitation as you may deem fit, so that we can have a better understanding of what is going on in various sectors. And I say this in the context of when I come here to announce that a particular amount was approved for a contract, that doesn't mean the amount has been paid, contrary to what you suggest. You are mindful also that the Minister of Finance, different arms of government are escalating the fiscal challenges we face as a nation in trying to fund the budget. You are also mindful that the last few budgets for almost 20 years in Nigeria have been deficit budgets. And these are terminologies and realities that I think we should acquaint ourselves with if we are going to not just report news, but also educate the public. So, and you must also be aware that between awarding a contract and also mobilizing to site, there is a distance. First of all, we have to have agreements. That's a relationship between the Ministry of Works or every other ministry and the Ministry of Justice. Then there's a role that banks play. They have to give guarantees. These are things that I would like to know if I was a correspondent, in order to be able to help me better inform members of the public. Building materials, rocks, laterite, quarry, iron rod have to be ordered. Construction companies don't keep them. The process of producing blasting rocks requires approvals from the Ministry of Mines and even the office of the NSA to get approvals to get dynamite. All of these are the things that go on. So the point I'm making to you is that there's a distance between approval, implementation, actual construction, and the result. Now, the other point I wish to make to you also is that the problems of some of the places like Warri, Benin, Saple Road, the southeast that you talk about, first of all, you must understand that those places don't just stand in isolation. The Niger Delta is the lungs of Nigeria. That's the rainforest. It's a high water table area. These problems are not as pronounced as they are now, as they are now in January and February. The reason is that that's the dry season of the year. This is the rainy season, it's weather conditions. And I know no country, there's no country in the world that doesn't face transport challenges in extreme weather. In some places, it is winter and snow. They cancel flights. It's transportation. They cancel rail programs. Some places, it is typhoon, hurricane. In some places, you can't even come out. So this is the season we are just getting to the end of rainy season. Flood. It will affect roads. We've seen cities submerged. We've seen infrastructure blown down in other parts of the world. It's one world. It's the same rain. It's the same planet. This is our own time to experience it. It's moving out of Nigeria now and going somewhere else. So what we experience at this year is unusual. It's not a good time to be in the transport system. We also want this season to quickly end so that we can go back to work during the dry weather. And that takes me then to the point about preparation for the end of the year. You know that we have the Ember Month preparation. The team has already started work. We'll be working with law enforcement. We'll be working with FRSC. We'll also be working with our contractors. The plan is that in places where they are not yet constructed, they should make palliative so that the heavy traffic movement during the end of the year is manageable and will reduce the inconvenience of our commuters to the various renewal. You must understand also that on every road where construction is going on is a construction site. So help us manage the understanding of the public that you can't drive through a construction site at normal speed. Ideal thing is that you close down a construction site, but we can't afford to do that. So you owe us that understanding which you must pass on, that people must expect some inconvenience. We regret it, but we do our best to bring them to the barest minimum. The inconvenience is pronounced also by weather. We don't control weather. And if we don't have rainfall in 1 year, it will affect food as well. So these are the realities of existence, about 3 months in every year, and then we will move on to much better weather. Let me also say that today my colleague in transportation announced some initiatives. Honorable Rotimi Amechi, I won't steal his thunder, except to say that we expect to benefit from those initiatives on some critical routes during the next few weeks that will bring relief to our roads network as those train services come on stream. So I am positive that all of these problems will become history within a short time. But we must all understand what we're dealing with here. And to appeal to you that, yes, we are here to solve problems. Problems is headline news for you. But at least the balance is also to show that not all of the road is bad. Because the focus is on the bad part. But you owe Nigerians whose taxes we use to also show them that some work is going on. Because it's not all of Nigeria's roads that are motorable. On the Benin-Warri road, for example, many sections of it are motorable. It's a part that has caved in and collapsed. And that is where the pain is. And that is what we will respond to. Same thing on Lagos-Ibadan, same thing on so many parts of the road. And I think it's important to have that balance in order even to encourage people to have hope in the country. Because it's not as bad as sometimes we portray. That's your headline, we know. But it's important to let them know that on a 100-kilometer stretch, maybe 10-15% is bad. Because you actually drive to that point before you feel the pain. And those are the places we are getting. Thank you very much.